Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Tuesday, and all of our guests today, including Ken Holland, standing by, brought to you by the Bayside Oceanfront Resort. Book your stay at the Bayside and enjoy the many amenities the hotel has to offer, such as oceanfront rooms, free parking, oceanfront restaurant, cafe, indoor and outdoor swimming pools, gym, and more. Call 250-248-8333 or go to their website, BaysideResortParksville.com. Game 1, Oilers Canucks, Wednesday at Rogers Arena in Vancouver. We're joined now by Edmonton Oilers GM Ken Holland. Ken, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you? Yeah, no problem. 6 days between games for your team. Good thing, bad thing?
Probably a little bit longer than we like, but I think once we get to Vancouver and get to the morning skate, the juices start flowing, and both teams will be all revved up, and our team will be revved up. So rather have too much rest than not enough. This time of the year, you always want to take care of those bumps and bruises.
And then you look what Boston did last night with just 1 day rest. It was pretty impressive. I guess there's no perfect formula. Hey, what did you like about the way your team handled the Kings in 5 games in round 1, Ken? Pretty convincing.
I thought it was a real pretty even series. Certainly special teams were a story for us. We did a good job on both ends. The power play and the penalty killing. 5-on-5 was pretty even. As you watch the playoffs, or as I'm watching now, there's less and less power plays, and you can see these scores are. The last night was 5-1 with an empty netter, but lots of low scoring games. And I think the deeper you get into the playoffs, the teams are really even. Teams play disciplined, and most of the games are decided at 5-on-5, and certainly special teams are always a story come playoff time. But feel fortunate to have moved on and looking forward to the next challenge here.
Hey, Ken, nobody saw the Canucks going this far. A lot of people in this town didn't think they'd make the playoffs, and here they are in round 2. What's impressed you about them from the start of the season till now?
Well, obviously they played great right out of the bat. We played them twice the first week, and they thumped us pretty good in the opening night, and then come into our rink a few days later and beat us in our rink, and off they went. They played very, very well the entire year. Obviously, really good at every aspect of the game. They've got high-end players, good on special teams, and great job by the coach there. So Rick Tocchet. So certainly, when you looked at their personnel, with elite defensemen and high-end forwards, great goaltending. I wasn't surprised that they were able to have the year that they have, because they've got a tremendous roster.
Hey, Ken, no one's given the Canucks any chance to beat the Oilers. Everywhere you look, the Oilers are heavily favored to win. Is that sometimes a problem? The players reading their press clippings, it's easy. And I mean, what are your thoughts on that? No one's given Vancouver a chance here, Ken.
Well, I've always said, you can put the statistics and the press clippings in the garbage when it comes playoff time. I've been at it a long time, and had been on the winning end and losing end. Ultimately, the game is decided on the ice. What everybody else thinks doesn't really matter. It's going to be determined on the ice. So I think we were at 1 or 2 points apart after 82 games. I think it's 2 really, really good hockey teams, really, really well-coached hockey teams, and it's going to be ultimately decided on the ice. And I think I'm expecting a long and tight series.
Ken, you mentioned Rick Tocchet, and one thing he constantly goes on about is how he values players, especially at this time of year, being calm and cool. And that leads me to asking you about Chrisnoblock. Talk about calm and cool. Why was he the right move for your team, and what has he brought to your organization?
Well, we got off to a tough start. I think we were 2-8-1 or 2-9-1, and I had a number of conversations with Jeff Jackson. As we were 2-6-1, 2-7-1, and obviously we were hoping we could turn it around. Jay Woodcroft had done it, and Dave Manson had done a tremendous job for us over the previous 2 years. But ultimately, as we started to get into a deep hole, we decided that we needed to make a change. Certainly, Jeff deserves a lot of the credit because Jeff obviously knew a lot about Chris with his, with all the players that Jeff had as an agent that had played for Chris in junior, and being now with Chris the last 6 months and over 70 games or so. Very cool, very calm. He's not a yeller and a screamer. Very, very composed behind the bench. Very, very poised. Obviously, he's had a lot of success in college hockey and in junior hockey, and did a great job for the New York Rangers. Ryan Martin, who's the assistant general manager of the New York Rangers, was my assistant general manager for many years in Detroit. Was Chris's boss. Was the general manager of the Hartford team in the American Hockey League. So obviously, I got a real good read from Ryan as we were going through it and ultimately making a decision about making a change. So the team has really responded to him, and he and Paul Coffey deserves a lot of credit too in working with our defense. And we buttoned down. We were better on goals against, and from that point forward. And Chris and Paul Coffey deserve a lot of credit for the season that we did have, and as we head into this series with Vancouver.
I was just going to ask you about Paul Coffey, Ken, because so many times you'll see examples of players who were just outstanding Hall of Famers, don't make the greatest coaches. What's Paul Coffey done for your defenseman, Ken?
Well, first off, I would say, we were 2-9-1. We were a team that had 108 points the year before and gone to the second round of the playoffs. So, we felt we had Conor and Leon, Conor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl in the primes of their career, and most of the core of our team in the prime of their career. So, we felt that we had a good team, but we had to get going. So when we made the change, I think for the defenseman, you've got a guy standing behind the bench that's one of the greatest defensemen that ever played the game, and when he's there, giving you information or supporting you, or if you have a bad shift or you've had a bad game and he's putting you back out, I think it's really good for the confidence of the of your defense core. And he's a guy that really in his career moved the puck, skated the puck. It was about puck movement and getting the puck going, and certainly that's one of the things that he's come in and really impressed upon our defense, the transition game, getting the puck moving. And I just think having a guy that with his credentials behind the bench and talking to our defense core on a regular basis was really good for their overall confidence and belief.
Hey, Ken, everybody talks about McDavid and Draisaitl, but boy, this Zach Hyman, 54 goals regular season, 7 more against the Kings, 19 hits against the Kings. Boy, this guy's just having a monster season.
Yeah, I mean, certainly when we signed him, we weren't really expecting someone to come in here and get 50 goals, but he's found tremendous chemistry with Connor McDavid. He's a net front on the power play, so he's come in and really fit like a glove with Conor, and then obviously with him on the net front, the growth of Bush on the back end, and added to Nuge, Leon, and Conor. A power play's certainly been an important weapon for us over the last couple of years. So. Zach plays with a lot of will, a lot of determination, goes to the hard areas over and over again. I think one of his strengths is his ability to protect the puck and hang on to the puck in tight quarters. And he's just a guy that's got a lot of will and a lot of determination. And he's found chemistry with the best player in the world, in my opinion, getting to watch Conor every day. So he goes to the hard areas, he goes to the net, and Conor can find him, and he just goes to the hard areas over and over again. And come playoff time, those players that go to the hard areas over and over and over again usually get rewarded, because that's what this tournament's all about, is will and determination. And winning 50-50 battles and going to hard areas.
And before we let you go, Ken, just so you know, Talk It, LV, and Rutherford watch and listen to our show every single day. Can you tell us what the key is to containing Connor McDavid?
You know what? I guess I would just say I'm expecting a great series. Both teams have high-octane players. I just think it's going to be a great series, and there's great players on both teams, and should be fun for the fans, and it's going to be a long, tough, exciting series.
Man, you tap dance around that one. That was excellent, Ken. We appreciate this. All the best.
Thanks, guys. Look forward to getting in there tonight.
You bet.